If you are trying to lock in that 2026 World Cup bracket, we absolutely have to talk about Spain. We're skipping any sort of long agenda today because I want to jump straight into the startling predictive data that actually crowns Spain as the ultimate tournament favorite. Because as you'll see, their terrifying dominance doesn't just come from individual superstars, but this deeply shared systemic understanding of football. The data and why it points to Spain. Okay, let's dive into this because we aren't just relying on gut feelings here. We have objective, hardcore data driving Spain's massive status right now as the absolute team to beat. Listen to this. Opta's supercomputer literally simulated this entire tournament an incredible 10,000 times using historical data and team strength ratings. And the result? Out of all those simulations, Spain emerges as the most likely champion at 16.1%. They're literally beating out heavyweights like France at 13%, and an incredibly strong England squad at 11.2%. So the crucial point is that Spain is the only team in this massive 48-team tournament with a greater than 50% chance of just reaching the quarterfinals. The data clearly shows their baseline floor is exceptionally high. I mean, they reached the semifinals in 39% of the projected tournaments. And it's not just the statistical models, right? If you look at the massive prediction markets, they completely align with this data. The world's largest prediction markets essentially view France and Spain neck and neck at the absolute top tier. It absolutely solidifies Spain as an undeniable primary contender. And we've got the on-pitch data to back it up too. 16 points. That's Spain's undefeated qualifying run. During that stretch, they scored a massive 21 goals and conceded only 2. They dominated their group with a clinical edge that just makes them a totally formidable threat. Section 2. The Tiki-Taka Evolution. Now, to really understand that data, we have to look at the tactics separating this 2026 squad from that legendary 2010 Golden Generation. Now, many of you definitely remember the original Tiki-Taka from the 2010s, right? It was heavily reliant on slow, horizontal passing just to hold on to the ball. But 2026 brings us Tiki-Taka 2.0. Under manager Luis de la Fuente, the style is vertical, it's direct, and it is lethal. They still hold over 70% average possession, sure, but now they use it to unleash rapid transitions and brutally attack spaces. It's this insane combination of control and sheer destructive power. Even Pep Guardiola, the guy who helped make the original style famous, he actually noted this flaw years ago. He said, "I loathe all that passing for the sake of it. You have to pass the ball with a clear intention." And Spain's current squad has really taken this to heart, weaponizing their possession. Every single pass now has a clear intention, to drag the opposition away and generate overloads in super dangerous areas. And this brilliantly illustrates the philosophy behind that destructive power. It's juego de posición, or positional play. These players maintain incredibly strict passing triangles. So if a false 9 like Mikel Oyarzabal drops deep, he drags defenders right with him, and that instantly opens up massive holes for midfield pivots to attack as free men. It's a hyper-intelligent rotation system that just creates space automatically. Section 3. An unmatched midfield engine. Because the dramatic change in Spain's actual squad composition is a huge reason why they're the favorites. Get this, 0. There are exactly 0 Real Madrid players in the core setup right now. Apologies to the Los Blancos fans tuning in. Historically, Spain leaned hard on that Barca Madrid monopoly, but today it's anchored heavily by Barcelona's youth and other technical talents. It really shows exactly where the team's gravity lies right now, young, elite ball handlers. The depth here is just staggering. It's ridiculous. If Rodri isn't at 100%, you seamlessly slot in Martin Supamendi. Pedri needs a rest, Dani Olmo steps right in. Out on the wings, Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams can be instantly swapped for Yeremy Pino or Mikel Oyarzabal, and you don't drop a single ounce of technical quality. And you know that is an absolute requirement for a grueling 48-team tournament. And we absolutely have to spotlight the ultimate X factor against those compact defenses, 18-year-old sensation Lamine Yamal. Coming into the tournament, he put up a ridiculous domestic output of 16 goals and 11 assists. Spain's directness frequently isolates Yamal out wide, so he can just cut inside on his left foot and destroy a game in an absolute instant. Section 4. Cracks in the armor. Because despite all of this brilliance, there are statistical flaws that could entirely unravel their campaign. No team is perfect, right? Now what's really interesting about this slide is that number, 11. That is the staggering number of goals Spain conceded in just 4 recent Nations League games against top opposition. For a team that totally dominates the ball, Their defensive transition exposes a severe vulnerability whenever that high line is actually broken. So let's look at exactly what's causing these cracks. First, those aggressive midfielders we love, they frequently get caught out of position, which leaves a severe weakness to rapid counterattacks. Then, you've got the center back dilemma. Do you play Aymeric Laporte for his trusted experience, or do you go with young Pau Cubarsí for the recovery pace you desperately need to stop those counters? And finally, manager Luis de la Fuente has shown this stubborn, almost childhood loyalty to Unai Simon in goal, despite a pretty well-documented history of crucial errors, leaving some truly elite shot stoppers just sitting on the bench. And honestly, we just saw another glaring flaw in their opening Matchday 1 game, a 0-0 draw against tournament debutants Cape Verde. Despite dominating possession against a deep, low-block defense, Spain just totally lacked the clinical edge to break through. It was a massive wake-up call, proving that possession alone doesn't guarantee you goals against superbly organized, physically powerful opponents who just refuse to be drawn out of position. Section 5. The Path to Glory. So how does a team with a brilliant midfield but noticeable defensive flaws actually navigate all the way to the final? Let's move to and see how this builds across their Group H schedule. We already talked about that opening 0-0 draw against Cape Verde. Next up is their clash against Saudi Arabia, where they really must assert their possession-based dominance. But Matchday 3? That is the crucible. It's an intensely physical test against Uruguay. Uruguay brings high intensity, strong duels, and extremely sharp counterattacks, which is literally the exact style that exposes Spain's vulnerabilities. This match is absolutely crucial for asserting dominance and topping the group. And why is topping Group H so desperately vital? The objective is simple. Avoid a nightmarish early knockout clash with heavyweights like defending champions Argentina. If Spain finishes second just because of a slip-up against Uruguay, their path to glory becomes exponentially harder, demanding they face the absolute best teams way earlier than they want to. Which leads us with the ultimate question. Look, the data absolutely proves Spain is the most well-rounded, statistically favored team to win the 2026 World Cup. Their systemic supremacy and unmatched midfield depth are terrifying. But will Tiki Taka 2.0 crown them champions, or will a single rapid counterattack and a defensive lapse be their ultimate undoing? That tension is exactly what makes them the most fascinating team to watch in this entire tournament. Thank you so much for joining me and enjoy the matches.